Welcome to the AC 24/7 Top Story Countdown. I'm Sonia Baghdadi. We'll guide you through the biggest headlines of the day. Our focus, advocating our rights, advocating health, and advocating Earth. Here's our pick for number 5.
Whacked by a whale. Jason Breen loves to live life on the wild side, but this was a wipeout he didn't see coming. Wing foiling off the coasted Mona Vale, the 55-year-old's GoPro camera was on as a whale calf sprang from the surface.
I saw the head come out, then I saw the rest of the body come out, and then I saw the whole thing above me, and at about that stage, I've got to be honest, I thought I was in trouble.
Body rolling with the whale, Jason says he was trapped underwater for what felt like a lifetime.
The whole time under the water, you can just feel the mass of it pressing against your body and pushing you down.
He only resurfaced when his arm strap snapped.
Just got hit by a whale.
Paul Metalbeck just happened to be filming too.
I thought, this is not going to be good.
He put a call out on social media to find Jason, and it worked.
Jason called me and said I'm okay. He was very lucky and I was very happy.
Jason says this leash may have saved his life by breaking. It's designed to withstand all conditions, but just by chance it snapped at just the right moment.
Yeah, I'm just lucky.
It's the leading cause of hospitalization for infants. RSV can lead to serious lung infections, even death.
The really jump for joy news is that this year we have not one, but 2 products that can potentially prevent it.
But this week, the CDC is advising there are limited supplies of some doses of nirsevimab, which can protect infants against severe RSV. In new guidance, the agency is recommending doctors reserve scarce doses for babies at highest risk, those under 6 months of age, and infants with underlying health conditions that could put them at higher risk.
The shortage thing was not something we anticipated because we had been assured there would be plenty of supply.
The CDC also recommends doctors stop using nirsevimab for babies 8 through 19 months of age who are eligible for an older protective therapy called palivizumab. It has to be given once a month through RSV season, unlike the new shot, which provides 6 months of protection after a single dose. Dr. Sean O'Leary with the American Academy of Pediatrics says there's also a maternal vaccine that can help protect against this virus.
It looks to be very safe and effective, that can be given at 32 to 36 weeks gestation. And we're not hearing about particular shortages of that one.
O'Leary says the limited supply issues will hopefully be short term.
For this year, it is a bit of a scramble and it's a challenge. And honestly, it's a bit frustrating, but we're doing our best.
For Health Minute, I'm Andy Gaither.
Vital fuel supplies in Gaza are on the verge of running out. That's what the United Nations Relief and Works Agency said just hours ago. One of the main problems, according to the agency, is that without fuel, it would no longer be able to operate desalination stations, hospital services, or deliver food supplies, essentially severing its humanitarian services in Gaza. But a spokesman with the Israel Defense Forces told us earlier that their intelligence shows Hamas is in possession of 1 million liters of fuel in Gaza, both gasoline and diesel. Jonathan Conricus said that instead of caring for the Palestinian population, Hamas is prioritizing using the fuel to run their war machine to fight against Israel. At this time, CNN has no way of verifying one claim or the other. Regarding the hostages, Qatar, a country that was instrumental in securing the safe release of the last 2 hostages on Monday, is hopeful for a breakthrough soon on negotiations to release more hostages held by Hamas. Israeli officials say there are still more than 200 people in captivity, and this is after 4 of them, 2 Americans and 2 Israelis, were released, 2 on Friday and the additional 2 on Monday. Out of the total number of hostages, there are 135 with foreign passports, according to the Israeli government press office. There are 54 people with a passport from Thailand, 25 from Argentina, 12 from Germany, and 12 from the United States. It said, listing the countries with the largest numbers of hostages. The Israeli government also said that 259 foreign nationals were murdered in the Hamas attack on October 7. On Tuesday, the Israel Defense Forces dropped flyers in Gaza appealing to residents for any information about the hostages being held by Hamas, offering protection and compensation in return as part of a wide-ranging effort to secure their safe release.
It took more than 3 weeks of infighting for Republicans to elect a Speaker of the House.
The Honorable Mike Johnson.
It took much less time for the first measure to come to the floor, a resolution in support of Israel in the war against Hamas, passed overwhelmingly in minutes, 412 to 10.
The fact that this is the most bipartisan resolution in modern history, with 425 co-sponsors, over 97% of this body, speaks volumes.
In the White House Rose Garden, where President Biden and Australia's Prime Minister met as the House-elected Johnson, the president also began his public address with the situation in the Middle East, saying he has asked Israel's Prime Minister, but not demanded, that Israel wait to secure the release of hostages in Gaza before a ground invasion.
Obviously, they're in jeopardy. The question is whether or not there's any way of getting them out. If we get them out, we should get them out.
We have one goal, to go ahead for victory.
An Israel Defense Forces spokesperson said Wednesday strikes on Gaza are strengthening the Israeli military ahead of the next stage of war. A Palestinian-American mother's son says she's trapped in Gaza in the middle of it all.
There's no food, there's little water, they're eating garbanzo beans, whatever they can find.
He calls it an impossible situation with no end in sight. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
Frankly, we did win this election.
In those contentious days after the 2020 election, when then-President Trump was desperately maneuvering to hold on to power, Mike Johnson was one of Trump's most zealous supporters in Congress.
The system is set up for massive fraud and error and irregularity, and we cannot have that in our election system.
The Republican from Louisiana led a group of conservative lawmakers who signed a court filing which tried to nullify Electoral College votes in several states won by Joe Biden, a legal effort that was soundly rejected by the Supreme Court.
I think all of that is partly what makes him a favorable candidate for Donald Trump. You can expect Democrats to be looking to highlight this stuff.
Just after the 2020 election was called for Joe Biden, Johnson posted on X, then known as Twitter, quote, "I have just called President Trump to say this. Stay strong and keep fighting, sir. The nation is depending upon your resolve." Today, outside court, the former president complimented the congressman.
I think Mike Johnson is doing very well. He's a tremendous congressman, respected by everybody.
But if you think the former conservative radio talk show host came out of nowhere to win the speakership, you might not be alone. Longtime Senator Susan Collins, from Johnson's own party, said, quote, "I was going to Google him this morning."
A lot of people don't know him, which means he doesn't have a lot of enemies.
First elected to Congress in 2016, Johnson staunchly opposes abortion and celebrated the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, calling it a, quote, "great, joyous occasion."
The founders, the ones who put this country together, recognized that life was sacred because it is given to us by our Creator, by God.
Johnson's also been a fierce opponent of LGBTQ rights. In the mid-2000s, he wrote in an op-ed in the Shreveport Times that homosexuality is, quote, "an inherently unnatural and dangerous lifestyle that would lead to legalized pedophilia." The 51-year-old Johnson, according to Politico, is the least experienced speaker elected in 140 years. Is he in over his head?
The speaker job is an on-the-job training situation. Nobody's prepared for that role unless they've already been in it.
Thanks for watching the Advocate Channel's top stories. We're on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Follow, like, and share, or check out advocatechannel.com for even more stories that advocate for you.